This is my new Flux 3 horsepower dust collector by Laguna. I'm getting ready to open it up to see what's inside. Hopefully a big gold dust collector. Well, looks like there's a dust collector in it. Manual and remote on the top. Get this thing opened up the rest of the way here and see if we can see what's on it in it. Now if you cut it open like this, you want to be careful because there is a panel right here on top, so you don't want to go through the tape too far and cut into that. Of course, I don't see any other way of opening it, so that's what you'll probably have to do. Okay, got that done. I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna go grab a trash can. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut the plastic off the corners. Tape, actually. Corner's made out of plywood, not cardboard on this one. There's these panels opened up here. This top panel, this top piece is a tray with parts in it. So I'm kind of thinking I need to stop for a minute, read the instructions and see what's going on. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back with you later. I guess I should have read the instructions before taking the box apart because it says to take all this equipment off the top before removing the cardboard from around it. So I'm going to do that now and I will be back when I'm done. I took everything out of the very top up here and laid it out on the ground, and I've gone through on a first view of it and everything looks to be good. No scratches, no imperfections that I can see visually. There is a cardboard box in there that has the weather stripping to go around the canister, or the cyclone, and screws and some casters in there and all kinds of stuff like that. As I was opening up the box, I went ahead and cut the tape between the top and the side sections of the styrofoam, the ones that were in here, and they started falling off, so I went ahead and took them off. Now I'm going to go ahead and take off that top and show you what's in there. It just slides right off very easily. So over here on the side. And on the very top of the unit is another box, or cardboard. And it's got the assembly for the top part of the cycle, which, there it goes. It's kind of stuck down in there a little bit. And I'm going to leave it in there for right now and get the dust piece off. This is the motor. And of course, tape laying all over the place. This is the motor. Throw that back. Intake there. Got the motor here, the motor assembly. And that I am not taking off right now because I don't want to mess with it. Don't want to break before I figure out what I'm supposed to do next. I'm going to take this out. The cardboard is shoved down in there, so I'm going to rip this apart so I can get it out easier. There. And that's part of the cyclone there. And inside of it, another piece, which I'm sure goes somewhere. And there's another one in here in bubble wrap. Go ahead and open up. Since I've never put one of these together, I don't know what all these pieces are for, but I'm sure they're needed. It's kind of like a really big chimney for a fireplace. Short, but fat. And I'll set that down there. Get this cardboard off from around here. Throw this over the side. All right. Looking at it initially, it looks to be all intact. The outside packing was pretty good. There's a couple of little Mars in it, but nothing that went through the cardboard on the outside. Definitely not into the styrofoam that surrounded it. But you can see that it's clean, nice, beautiful, and I'm getting very excited about getting it put in. Of course, I don't have my ductwork run yet, but that'll happen too. So I'm going to go back and grab the instructions and make sure that all the pieces that came off of it are what should be there, and I have everything that I need so far, so that I know I've got everything and I don't have to go searching for a bunch of crap whenever it comes down to it. I shall be back. Some of the pieces that are listed in the manual appear to be in the bottom, so I'm going to have to take some more of the pieces off to get to them. I'm going to start with these boxes here. Just open them up and see what's in them. It has an L on it, I'm guessing it's left. Bracket. Set that off to the side. And I'm fairly certain this is the right side one, so I'm just going to set it off to the side. Big panel from the bottom. Must be part of the door. Not sure exactly what that is. This here. We'll find out, I'm sure. I just remembered that I've got that thing pointing to the bottom. I need to point it up a little bit so you can see better. And the big one that I pulled off the bottom appears to be the door with all the insulation in it there. Put that off to the side. Everything appears to be very well packed, very tight too. When the thing got delivered, it came off the truck and rolling it in my shed. My wife took a video of it and she said, it's a lot smaller than I was expecting. Well, it's all kind of broken apart, so. 2 more panels. Electrical box. There is no plug that I've seen so far, so apparently the reports that they did not put a plug in it are true. It's okay, I can always get a plug. You'd think for the price that we pay for these things, they'd put that in there though. Another panel. The other 2 that I took out. That's about it with the boxes. I'll move on down to this, which appears to be the intake, which I don't think actually is going to be something I'm going to use, because I'm going to go with 6-inch all the way through, or 8 inches my main trunk and 6-inch broken off from there. Well, it appears that I got to do something else here, because I don't know how I'm going to get this thing out of this box the way it is. So I'm going to do some looking around on this thing, see what I can do with this box, and I'll be back. I couldn't figure out what to do next, so I went back and watched the Laguna assembly video again, and I was able to tear off the styrofoam at the end and grab the filter sitting here, grab the filter and pull it out using just that end. I reached down inside the hole here just to make sure I wasn't rubbing on anything significant, and it looks like it, you know, still tore up that little piece of the box there a little bit. But that also allowed me to get the rest of the panels out here, and now I took and I'm ready to get the main assembly off the cart, and I'm going to put it on this piece, this remnant piece of carpet that I have, because I don't have, like, you know, packing quilts or anything like that. So anyway, I'm gonna see about doing that. I'm one guy, and I hope this works. It wasn't too awful difficult to get it out. I ripped the side of the container off, as you can see there, this little piece right here. I ripped that off, just gave it a good yank, and it popped right off. Then I lifted up on the left side and walked that off while I was stepping on the styrofoam. I walked it off the side and then went over to the other side, picked it up, and then pulled it off. And then I brought it over, set it on my carpet, and then used the box with all the plugs, all the hardware in it to support the motor up right there. And that's basically what they said to do in the instructions, so I went ahead and did that. Now I'm going to, they say in the instructions to remove this bottom, to remove the bottom before putting on the casters, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to look at what comes after that to see if that's actually necessary or not, because it seems like it should just go on there just lickety-split, you know, hunky-dory kind of a thing. I'm not sure. Actually, no, I have to take that off because I got to put other supports on there. All right, I'm gonna go look at the instructions and see what comes next, and I'll go ahead and remove this, put the casters on, and I'll be with you back. Something I noticed after taking this stuff out of the box and coming over looking for the right screws, I started looking at the screws, and they've got written on them what all the screws are for in each bag, which is really nice, because I've seen things that, you know, they don't always do that kind of thing. So that was kind of nice. Wanted to let you know about that. Okay, so I ended up building the whole thing, standing it up pretty much by myself. I had my wife and my daughters help me. I was going to go through and do different steps as I went through the build, but after watching the Laguna film on how to do it, I figured I didn't have anything to add, and if I came upon anything that I could add to it that would be of value, I was going to go ahead and record that, but I couldn't find anything, so I just went ahead and built the whole thing. Now, one thing they tell you that I will tell you is very important is they say, do not tighten these screws until after you adjust it. And that's very important because you'll have to take them apart. Or you might have to take them apart. I did. I didn't tighten them, but I had to adjust this thing way out to get it to fit right. What happened was the tube that comes up on the back here didn't fit into the hole there properly. It sat just forward of it. So what I ended up doing after I pulled that plate all the way out as far as it would go and figured out that it was just right on the edge of the foam that was on the bottom, right up here, if you can see that. Where'd it go? There it is. That foam, it sat right up on this edge, and I wasn't happy with that. So what I did was I added, get it around in the light a little better, I added 2 washers right in here, right behind those bolts, in between the bracket and the drum. That stuck it out a little bit further, and it got it to the place where it sat in there better. Now I don't have the bag in here yet because I'm letting the silicone dry, but you can see it slides in easily. Picks it up, and there you go. That is the Laguna Flux 3 with the HEPA filter, the bottom on it. Everything's ready besides the power. I have not put a plug on it yet. It's getting late tonight, so I'm gonna call it a night and finish that up later. Also, this wire, a lot of wire there that they left over, that doesn't move once it gets in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some zip ties, I'm going to pull it back and zip tie it up here so it's out of the way a little better, and it doesn't, like, I don't have any chance of catching it, because that's your drum sensor to tell you when the drum's full. And I obviously, since I haven't run it yet, I haven't adjusted that yet, but I'm getting ready, I'm really looking forward to doing that too. The build was rather easy. I would highly suggest going and reading or watching the YouTube video that Laguna put out on building this thing. It's fairly thorough. I did change a few steps because I didn't like them. Like I instead of waiting to put the wires behind this bracket, let me get on the other side. Putting the wires behind the bracket here, so that behind that bracket that stabilizes it. After I stood it up, I did that before I stood it up, so it was there. Not only that, it helped put this so it wasn't dangling all over the place. It helped secure that a little better. I didn't actually screw that on until I had the thing standing up, which if I were to do it again, I'd probably go ahead and screw it on before I stood it up so it would be there. One thing about it, there was a wire, and I don't know if you can see it. I'll see if I can get it in better light. There is a wire that comes out of the box up here down to this. On mine, it seemed to be a little short, but it just pulled right out on me. I just gave it a little bit of a tug there, and it pulled out, so it came down, and I could screw it in there rather easily. One thing I did do was I originally had, you can see that this is, that the intake is straight out. I originally had it one nut over, one set over, because I was going to set up the cleaner, or the dust collector in another place in the shop. But after, you know, looking at it and seeing how it was put together, I decided to put it in another place. So I wanted this to come straight out instead of at an angle. And to do that, because I already had it built and stood up, to do that, all I did was I took a floor jack and stuck it underneath, and stuck a box, a wood box underneath that, and jacked it up, took all the bolts out up here at the top, let it down a little bit, twisted it over that one set of bolts that I wanted, that one set of screws, or the one set of holes, and then bolted it right back up. Took me just a couple minutes. It wasn't hard at all. The biggest problem was I had to get to some of the bolts, I'd take out that back panel, this panel with the foam on it, because I couldn't reach back in there. It's kind of tight back in there, and I couldn't reach in there very easily with that panel on there. So I just took it off and redid it that way. I got to come through with an air compressor and kind of blow the white styrofoam off the HEPA filter, because it did kind of there was some that was stuck to it whenever I pulled it out of the box. I would say that probably the best thing about a build with this is get somebody to help. A second hand, or a third and fourth hand, would have been very nice at times to put this thing together, just to help with standing it up, or getting to a tight spot, or moving something around, anything like that. Another set of hands would have been very, very nice. One question I really do have is, could that Cyclone actually be flipped around so the intake, instead of coming out here, it comes out on this side, and it would reverse it? And because of the direction of the fan, I'm not sure it could. But from the place that I ended up deciding to put it in my shop, I think it'll be fine. Anyway, it was a great build. Took me about 4.5 to 5 hours. I'm not sure exactly, because I was doing it partially during the day. Whenever I would take a break, I'd come out and do a little bit, and then tonight I came out and did about 3.5 or 4 hours on it. So I'm not sure exactly how long, and honestly I was just really enjoying doing it, so I lost track of time. Anyway, if you have any questions, please give me a comment, throw me an email or anything like that, and I'll try to answer anything I can, because I know these things are kind of daunting looking at. Thank you very much. I forgot one more thing that they didn't say in the instructions until the very end. If you are planning on not putting a bag in here, this tube on the back is not installed. You take and put these two blocks at the top and at the bottom of that instead of that tube, and then you take this cap and you stick it in, you stick it up there instead of that tube coming down. And that's very important, because if you're not planning on putting a bag in there, you don't want that, because that'll suck the dust right back up into the collector.